So tonight I have played around with some different ideas for some eco dyeing, and I've made some little bundles, and inside every little bundle there is some different botanicals, and I then have wrapped them up with some rusty wire to hopefully get a circle around the effects that I'll get, hopefully, with the different botanicals. Looks like there's some good colour development in this one. So that's my hope. So let's start undoing some. I'm not using snippers to undo them. I'm just going to use my hands because I don't potentially want to cut the silk. So I'm just going to unravel rather than use some wire snippers. This one had camellia flowers from my garden. Sorry, there are some camellia flowers that are from my garden. That's what's in this one. That's what's given us this nice colour here. So I'm going to unravel that now and see if there's also a nice line around it. So we can see the botanicals. Looks really nice, but there's not that line around it that I wanted from the wire. But it's still a really nice effect. So let's go on to the next one. This is a heavier gauge of rusty wire. You can see the difference in the thickness. So maybe this might give a little bit more effect. I did have this, even though it was a thinner wire, but I had it doubled over. But we'll see if this thicker one has a stronger effect of creating that little line. Now this one, I think, by the looks of it, had wattle from my garden, and that's what is leaving these little dots, which is also very evident on this one. Lots of dots in there, and so I think that's what's leaving. So I think that this one is a wattle, and it is. So we can see that that's the wattle that's been in there. So that heavier wire has created a little bit more of that line around it that I wanted. So the heavier line has worked better, and you can see that nice orange colour that you get from the wattle and the little dots that you get from the wattle. They look really good. So I think this one, the next one that I'm going to undo, it again is one of the smaller gauge wires, but I again doubled it over. And this has got lemon leaves in it, and on previous experiments I've gotten a really nice yellow colour from the lemon. So hopefully we get something similar here, if of course I can undo it. Find the end, there it is, the other end. There we go, let's see. So these are the lemon leaves, and these again are from my garden. And in the past they've left some really nice yellow colours. So we've gotten that again, and oh yes, and we've got a really nice round pattern around that from the wire as well. That's really, really nice. So the rest is basically the same. Again, we've got the wattle. This one is again with the thicker gauge wire. And this one looks like it's got a lot of little spotty patterns left on it. And again, we have got a nice pattern around it. That's what I was kind of going for, this pattern around. That's why I created the little bundles. So that seems to have worked really well. And I've experimented with a few different sorts of wires. Again, this is a thinner gauge wire, but I've doubled it up so that it's a little bit thicker. This is more lemon leaves. not as much of a round mark, but still a really nice yellow colour from the lemon leaves. And this is another camellia one, the pink leaves that I showed earlier. Ooh, this one's going to be tricky to undo. Here we go, found the end. Just got to find that end, because we don't want to rip the silk, obviously. So these are the camellias. And again, that's got quite a nice round pattern around the colour. So that's turned out really nicely as well. Last one, again a smaller gauge wire, which I have doubled up. You can see how thin it is because it's breaking really easily as I try to unravel it. If it will ever unravel. Here it comes, hopefully. Goodness, the last one is being stubborn. All right, there we go. And this one again is another camellia that I did right down in the corner. And that's actually come out with a nicer round edge to it. So I'll try to spread this out a little. I was trying to do a technique where I got a little bit more control over the pattern, and I think it's worked quite well. We can see some distinct round circles, as well as a few random edges here where the colouring of the rust water and what have you, but some really nice distinct round circles, which is what I was going for. So that has worked. So pretty happy with that. On to the next technique for next time. I'm going to try to get some stripes as opposed to circles. So stay tuned.